I hereby call the regular Public Housing Authority meeting of May 26, 2020 to order at 5:35 p.m. The PHA Secretary will provide brief information relating to the conduct of the meeting and will read the following.
Thank you, Chair Member. For the record, we want to notify the public that pursuant to the Governor of the State of California's various executive orders and in the interest of the public health and safety, the Public Housing Authority, along with the other legislative meetings, will be held in council chambers with staff and members of the Legislative Board, and everyone is practicing social distancing and will continue to follow the various public health and safety guidelines.
Thank you, Lucy. Lucy, can you provide roll call, please?
Director Prieto?
Here.
Director Mahar?
Here.
Director Trumbull? Director Maravilla?
Here.
Director Farfan?
Here.
Vice Chair Member Roa? Chair Member Alvarado?
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Lucy, the PHA Secretary will read and provide information relating to the public hearing comments and general public comments.
Thank you, sir. So public comments currently are for general items on or not on the agenda. And in order to receive public comment, the city has provided various options to do that via e-comment, via written correspondence, by receiving it via mail or the City Hall Dropbox, or by providing any voice message or requesting a callback. Currently, for the record, none of these were received for the Public Housing Authority. That concludes this report.
Thank you, Lucy. Now we go to agenda organization. This is the time for the agency to discuss any changes in the order of the agenda items. Will anyone like to make any changes to the agenda organization? Okay, we go to public hearings. PHA Secretary Lucy will read the information regarding public hearing comments.
Thank you, sir. And similar to the public comments for general comments is the public hearing comments. Also, the opportunity was available to provide comments via e-comment, via phone voice messages, requesting a callback or leaving a message, written correspondence by providing it via U.S. mail or the City Hall Dropbox. And for the record, there were no correspondence or voice messages received for the public hearing at this time.
Thank you, Lucy. Now we go to A1. Conduct public hearing to amend that certain real property purchase and sale agreement in joint escrow instructions, green property, APN number 7076-033-910. Can I get a staff report?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last July, the Board of Directors of the Public Housing Authority approved the real property agreement for the purchase and sale of the green property. Approximately starting in April through the Planning Commission reviewed and approved or recommended approval of the entitlements for that property so that that property could be developed as a hotel use. And at the last City Council meeting, the City Council approved those entitlements. This amendment to the purchase agreement that is before you tonight is for purposes of amending that agreement consistent with those entitlements and the timing of moving forward with the development of the property. Chiefly, these amendments confirm that the close of escrow will be by September 1st, 2020. It also confirms, as consistent with the development agreement, that the developer will provide proof of financing to build the hotel before close of escrow. It confirms that the property can be built for hotel purposes only, and it requires that in the event the property isn't built for a hotel purpose, for the developer to offer the property for resale to the city, which is also required as part of the development agreement. And so with those amendments, we're asking for your approval consistent with the entitlements that have already been issued by the city council.
Thank you, Megan. I now open public hearings. Lucy, you just mentioned there's no public comments, right?
Correct. There were no comments received.
The public hearing is now closed. Are there any questions from the PHA board? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Lucy, can I get a roll call?
Director Prieto,
Yes.
Director Mahar, Director Farfan,
Yes.
Vice Chairman, Director Maravilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Roa, Chair Member Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Lucy. Now we go to consent calendar.
Mr. Chair, if I could, for clarification, I think we need a second motion to approve the amendment as attached to the staff report.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve A1?
Or the
Lucy,
attachment to A1.
Can you get a roll call, Lucy?
So just for clarification, is there an additional amendment
As
it appears on the?
As it appears on the staff report. So for clarification, the motion is to approve the first amendment to the purchase and sale agreement, which is attached to the staff report.
Okay, thank you. Director Mahar, Director Prieto,
Yes.
Director Farfan,
Yes.
Director Maravilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Roa, Chair Member Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Lucy. Now we go to consent calendar. Does anyone want to pull any item from the consent calendar for separate discussion? May I have a motion?
I'll second that motion.
Lucy, can I get a roll call, please?
Director Mahar, Director Prieto,
Yes.
Director Farfan,
Yes.
Director Maravilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Roa,
Yes.
Chair Member Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Lucy. Now we go to discussion items. No discussion items, no new business, no closed session. Is there any oral staff report? No? Are there any oral authority reports? No? So we don't have that here? No oral authority reports? Okay. There being no further business, I hereby adjourn this meeting at 5:43 p.m. until our next regular meeting to be held on June 23rd, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. I hereby call the regular successor agency to the RDA meeting of May 26, 2020 to order at 5:50 p.m. Agency secretary will provide brief information relating to the conduct of the meeting and will read the following.
Thank you, Chair Member. Just so that the public is aware, like all the other legislative meetings, pursuant to the Governor of the State of California's executive orders and in the interest of the public health and safety, the City Council and staff are meeting in the council chambers and practicing social distancing and will continue to follow public health and safety guidelines at this time.
Thank you, Lucy. Lucy, can you please conduct a roll call?
Director Trimble, Director Maravilla,
Here.
Director Farfan,
Here.
Vice Chair Member Roa,
Here.
Chair Member Alvarado.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Now we go to public comments, general or items on or not on the agenda. Lucy Agency Secretary will read and provide information relating to general public comments.
Consistent with the public comments for the other legislative bodies, the public comments are accepted via e-comment, via written correspondence, and received by U.S. mail or at the City Hall Dropbox, or by providing a voice message. And at this time, for the record, none of these were provided for the successor agency.
Thank you. Now we go to agenda organization. This is the time for the agency to discuss any changes in the order of agenda items. Would anyone like to make any changes to the agenda organization? We go to public hearings. None. We go to consent calendar. Does anyone want to pull any item from the consent calendar for separate discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Can I get a second?
Second that motion.
Lucy King, do we get a roll call?
Director Farfan,
Yes.
Director Maravilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Member Roa,
Yes.
Chair Member Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We go to discussion items, no discussion items, no new business, no closed session, no oral staff reports, no oral authority reports, and also there's no any authority reports. There being no further business, I hereby adjourn the CERTA meeting at 5:53 p.m. I hereby call the regular City Council meeting of May 26, 2020 to order at 6:01. The city clerk will provide brief information relating to the conduct of the meeting and will read the following.
Thank you, Mayor. Consistent with conducting the various legislative body meetings pursuant to the governor of the state of California and the executive orders issued by him, and in the interest of the public health and safety, the city council and staff are meeting in the council chambers and are practicing social distancing and following public health and safety guidelines. This is also being provided via the local cable channel, ATT 99, Frontier 16, Spectrum 36, and we are live stream on the city's website at www.hgcity.org.
Thank you, Lucy. The invocation will be led by Lucy Colombo, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Victor Farfan. Can you please stand?
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us the opportunity to meet and gather today. We ask you to continue to be with all the families who are in need, and just continue to keep your watch care over each and every one of us. We ask you to please be with and console those who have lost loved ones recently. And we just ask you, Lord, to just make this thing go away. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
If you would please join me in the flag salute, right hand over your heart, ready to begin.
Lucy, can you please conduct roll call?
Councilmember Trimble, Councilmember Maravilla,
Here.
Councilmember Farfan,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa,
Here.
Mayor Alvarado.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Now we go to proclamations and certificates. We have none. Presentations, we have none. We go to public comments, general or items on or off the agenda. The city clerk will provide information regarding public comments as a result of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic.
Thank you, Mayor. So pursuant to the procedures by the legislative body, including the city council, various forms of submitting general comments have been provided to the public, one being via e-comment, email, written correspondence being sent and received via U.S. mail, or the City Hall Dropbox. There's also been an opportunity to provide voice messages. At this time, only one was provided. And if I may, Mayor, it was a general public comment. Congratulations to Dr. Opadaka on his accomplishments and hard work on graduating from USC, our first ever trustee from the ABC Unified School District. That concludes the items presented.
Thank you. We go to agenda organization. This is a time for the city council to discuss any changes in the order of agenda items. Would anyone like to make any changes to the agenda organization? Okay, we go to public hearings. We have none. We go to consent calendar. So now we'll continue with the consent calendar. Does any council member want to pull any agenda item from the consent calendar for separate discussion?
Do we need to pull item 1 to read by title only for the ordinance, or no?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Maravilla, if you're going to proceed with the second reading on the consent, I would recommend as part of the motion to read the title, and then you can do the whole thing as consent. Good question.
Honorable Mayor, if I may, Joe, I thought we had a conflict on one of the consent items. So that we're going to have to pull. And then the projects, street projects. So we got to pull those items, all I'm saying. We'll put them off for separate vote.
So just for the record, it would be the first item, ordinance number 593, and also item 9, resolution number 041-2020.
I make a motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar.
I second that motion.
Can I get a roll call, Lucy?
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Vice Chairmember Roa,
Yes.
Chairmember Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Lucy. Megan, at this time, do I continue or have discussion or B1, or that's about?
I think at this time, if Mayor Pro Tem Roa would take over for the second reading of the development agreement, and the mayor is recusing himself due to his residence and proximity to the project.
So at this point, we would.
I can just make a motion to approve. So I'll make a motion to conduct the second reading by title only and waive further reading and adopt an ordinance adopting development agreement number 583, case number PLNG 2020-0024 between the City of Hawaiian Gardens and Hawaiian Gardens 1311 LLC, DBA Holiday Inn Express and Suites pursuant to California Government Code Section 65864, and adopting the associated initial study mitigated negative declaration for the hotel project located at 22434 Norwalk Boulevard.
I'll second that motion.
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now we're waiting for Mayor to come back.
Actually, for the next item, we're just going to pull it for the next meeting because we don't, without you two, we only have two. You guys want to do that? Okay. Because I don't think it's an urgency, right? Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you guys want.
Are we pulling straws? Yes. Okay.
Short straw? That one.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just for the record, both the mayor and the Mayor Pro Tem had a conflict of interest due to their personal residence proximity to the agenda item. Under the rule of necessity under the Political Reform Act, when there are not enough council members to proceed with the item, you can pull straws to allow one council member to participate despite the conflict. And so the city clerk prepared the straws, and Mayor Pro Tem Roa's name was pulled.
Thank you, Megan. Is there any discussion? There being none, is there an approval?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 041-2020.
I'll second that motion.
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
We go to C, discussion items. C15, resolution number 040-2020, approving the preliminary engineer's report for the Consolidated Landscaping and Lighting Assessment District, number HGLLA1, and declaring the City Council's intent to levy an assessment for fiscal year 2020 through 2021, and setting a public hearing on the proposed levy at a regular City Council meeting on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. Can I get staff report?
Honorable Mayor and members of City Council, this item is actually pretty routine in nature. You normally would see it on your consent calendar. As far as the determination, the engineering determination of the proper assessment and what is put forth to the county for a levy. What's a little different this year, and I wanted to put in discussion for this purpose, is that you will see that we generally bring in a little over $100,000 in this assessment, and we spend that. This year we're spending essentially the savings amount in that designated fund it's a qualified expense, but we are trying to alleviate the pressure on the general fund. Now, I want to point out that this is not going to be possible every year because of the amount that comes in is a little over $100,000, and the amount we spend, even at the $500,000 that's dedicated during this staff report, it's much higher, as it's basically public works, maintenance of the lighting districts, traffic signals, landscaping. And so Joe can kind of go through the process in the report, and Linda can clarify any questions the council may have related to the finances.
Honorable Mayor, members of City Council, I'll just add to what the city manager has pretty much indicated. You should have all received a document like this, which is the preliminary engineer's report. This is something that we do every year, which is adopt the engineer's report and then set a public hearing to approve the levy. This is something that has to be done by August 10th of each year. There are no changes to the actual assessment itself, but as the city manager has indicated, we are using up all the reserve funds in this account to help out with the general fund expenditures. By approving this document, basically you are setting a public hearing for June 11, 2020, same time, same place. Basically, this is a consolidated district, which is the landscaping and lighting assessment. What it does is basically it pays for all the costs that you incur for the electricity on the lights and all the landscaping and graffiti removal on the medians and anything related to it, including parks and things of that nature. So it's a small assessment, but it helps defray those costs that Public Works incurs for that particular purpose. So with this, we're just recommending that you approve resolution number 40-2020 and hold a public hearing on, I believe it's June 23rd, 2020.
Any discussions from council?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 04-2020.
I second.
Lucy, can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa,
Yes.
Mayor Alvarado.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. We go to C16, resolution number 043-2020, approving and amending to the agreement between the City of Hawaiian Gardens and the Southeast Los Angeles County Workforce Investment Board, Celico Web, to modify the 2019 and 2020 Earn and Learn Work Experience Program and to amend the 2019 through 2021 citywide budget to include these funds. Can I get staff report?
Ms. Hollingsworth.
Thank you. As you know, we had previously been approved $176,330 of funding to fund 77 slots for participants. And right after December, the Celico came to us and said they had probation slots that they had not been able to fill. Would we be able to take those on? And so we accepted that, and we were able to find 4 qualified participants right when all of this shutdown order started. So what we have been able to do is train all of them, those 4, and so this agreement is to allot us the money for those 4 participants. We've done their training via computer and phone. If any time is left and there's work available, we'll be able to start them working.
Thank you, Linda. Any discussions from council? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Lucy, can I get a roll call?
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa,
Yes.
Mayor Alvarado.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Now we go to C17, Discussion regarding graduation parade. Can we get staff report?
Yes, Honorable Mayor, members of City Council, this is a request by Council Members Maravilla and Farfan to do a graduation parade to celebrate current seniors who didn't have the opportunity to do so as of yet. And so I will defer to Councilmember Maravilla and Farfan.
Sure. So I want to thank City Manager and staff for assisting with this item. This item came about out of some residents reaching out to me in regards to the cancellation of a lot of their commencement ceremonies. And I know that for our city and for the City Council, education is a priority, and it's something that we have prioritized not only with our actions and our policy making, but also with our budget. And so at this time, I would like to hear from my colleagues about potentially having a graduation parade to celebrate our graduating class. This would include graduating college graduates as well as high school and their families. So one graduate, one car, and we would invite as many as are interested to participate. The route has been emailed to us by our city clerk. And if you guys have any questions, we have staff that's available to help answer those. And I know that Councilmember Farfan would probably like to also chime in and express his opinion on the matter.
Yeah, I think, like my colleague mentioned, that this is something that's critical, being that we want to advocate for as many of our students in terms of pursuing education, continuing education, and those that have the opportunity to reach this milestone in terms of graduating, we need to recognize. And due to the nature of events, I mean, unfortunately, they're not going to go through the normal course of this celebration. And so we thought as a city, this would be the least we could do to recognize the residents of our community for this major accomplishment in their life. So.
And I'll also just add in that yesterday, LA County Public Health put out regulations and guidelines for vehicle-based parades, of which we would meet all of those guidelines, since us, the city, would be hosting, and we would be in coordination with our sheriff's department to help keep order with any of the cars that are participating.
So this is essentially majority needs to approve going forward in coordinating with staff to make this happen. Records Supervisor Juan Serrano's here, who's worked on the map that you're looking at, plus he can answer any questions related to the details that have been worked out thus far, but it's council discretion as far as making a motion to direct staff as desired.
And I know at this time we have several dates that are suggested. Those are based on dates that wouldn't conflict with existing events or other matters. So I know at this time our principals have notified us that graduates would receive notification that they are eligible to graduate, I think, in the beginning of June. So a lot of them either are going to pick up their cap and gown this week or possibly next week. And so my suggestion would be to possibly coordinate the event at the end of June. Also, another reason for that date is at this time, we're coordinating as a city to try and get some funding so that we can do a surprise for our graduates. And so I think that would be a really pleasant surprise to have that installation prepared for the parade as well.
Any other comments from council? Questions?
I think it's a great idea. I just want to know, like, what would be the logistics of it? You say one person or two people per car, so it's only the graduate and a driver, or is the driver, or is it open to their families? And are we making them fill in any kind of paperwork? I mean, since we're hosting it, do we have any kind of liability if somebody were to so just kind of want to know more details of what you guys are planning.
Yes, correct. So one of the things that we discussed, currently we have 218 high school students that attend ABC district. So based on those numbers, we can almost guarantee that, hopefully every student participates in the parade. The way we're going to do it is they have to pre-register through Google Forms. That was the best way or solution that we are suggesting to do. That way, prior to the parade, then we have an idea how many students are going to participate in the parade. Our meeting point will be Ferguson Field. So we're hoping that is a driver and only the graduate, so the family members stay behind at home. So while we drive throughout the city, then family members can wave other students. And one of the things that we want to do is very quick ceremony, maybe 10-minute ceremony. While everyone is waiting on the vehicles, the mayor or one of our guests will be here, do a very quick introduction, welcoming, and starting the parade.
So it would only be the student inside of the car and a driver.
Our goal is one student, and the driver.
Right.
Yeah. Now we also understand that some of the high school students do not have a vehicle, or the parents might not have it. That's something we have to consider if we have 2 students per vehicle. But again, there's something that we can do or work with.
No, I think it doesn't matter how many students per vehicle. I just think that if you open it up to the parents, then it's just going to become too long. That's why my question.
Right.
Oh, yeah. One car per graduate. But inside of the car, I would say if the entire family wants to be in the car with them, I think that's fine because we have really no restrictions with household members being in the same space. So I don't think that would be an issue. But another idea that I had briefly discussed with staff was also possibly coordinating with a radio station and then getting pre-recorded messages from representatives from our local colleges and universities, as well as our high schools, so that they can say messages and everyone can tune in to the same radio station at the same time, and then they can all be listening to really fun and exciting commencement music, as well as messages from the people that would have participated in their commencement ceremonies.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Think it's a good idea. Thank you.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Can we get a roll call, Lucy?
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa,
Yes.
Mayor Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Can I just make a comment that the participants will be asked to sign a waiver to your question. They'll be asked, like we do other events in the city, they'll be asked to sign a waiver.
Thank you, Ernie. Now we go to C18, consideration to support of communication to Governor Newsom, asking Governor to support Gardens Casino Health and Sanitation Program. Can I get a staff report?
Yes, Honorable Mayor and Member City Council, attached to the staff report is the draft of the letter. It's communication to Governor Newsom related to the Gardens Casino, along with actually all of the LA County card clubs, have put together a health and sanitation program that's being reviewed and certified by medical physicians to show that it complies with Department of Public Health guidelines. Really commend them for getting ahead of the game with regards to, not only asking for help, but coming to the table with a solution. I have been working with management staff there, and both Mayor Alvarado and Councilmember Farfan through the JPA have been making sure that this program, the health and sanitation program, is outsourced to, at this point, I know for a fact that all of the Board of Supervisors have seen it and have it in hand, along with legislators up and down the state that could help the Gardens Casino and consequently the City of Hawaiian Gardens, along with all of the other card clubs in LA County. I think they all understand the importance of these card clubs to the region, as they support over 10,000 jobs in addition to our direct dependence on this revenue source. And the other thing is it becomes even more critical that something changes soon, because as you know, all of you have talked to me in some capacity about the fact that the tribal casinos have opened up already. And so before you is a request to approve the language in the letter and consequently sign it, and we will get that to the governor's office as soon as possible.
Thank you, Ernie. Any discussions from council?
I just wanted to add that thank you, Ernie, and our staff members and our city council members and mayor for constantly advocating for the well-being of our community. As many people know, our city is heavily dependent on one source of revenue, so it's very important for us to find a way to reopen our casino in a very safe way that will not jeopardize the health and well-being of the people that do attend our casino. So I do want to thank the hard work of the casinos for coming together to try and resolve this matter. I know that the casinos statewide, aside from the tribal casinos, are subject to the last phase of reopening. So I'm very hopeful that we can find a way to keep everyone safe while at the same time opening the doors to help continue to provide services that are critical to our residents coming directly from the revenue source of the casino. So thank you.
Yes, I want to make a brief comment on that. Absolutely, we've been trying really hard to. I know that Ernie has been working really hard with Keith Sharp from the Gardens Casino, and I know that they've been doing a great job. But we've been, we have been using different sources like the JPA to continue reaching out for support and allow us to open the Gardens Casino. Our revenue, we rely on 70% of that revenue from the Gardens Casino. So not only our casino, but different cities where they have like the Bicycle Club, the Commerce Casino, they're in the same situation. So I think it's very important that we do whatever we can and to send as many letters to get the point across that it's critical and important that we open a casino, although with some guidelines and regulations that we must go on. And I understand that it's important to protect our own well-being and health for one another, but at the same time, we need to keep our business going. Our city relies on that revenue for the Gardens Casino. So with this new letter, reaching out from many different ways, I think we're all coming together. All the casinos, for the most part, they're doing everything they can to open their casino as soon as possible. I think they're ready. We're ready. And I think it's time to start making progress and changing things around in a way that is positive and continue providing for our community. So that's what I have to share. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Lucy, can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Farfan,
Yes.
Councilmember Maravilla,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roa,
Yes.
Mayor Alvarado.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Lucy. Now we go to committee reports. Are there any committee reports? Any new business? Or staff report? Or council report?
I just want to make a quick comment with regards to a recent article that came out about the Hawaiian Gardens Casino and losing their volcano. I had some calls from residents that share they were a little upset because the writer chose to use the word poor to describe 50% of the community. I think that was a wrong choice of words, but ultimately, I think that the message that he or she was trying to portray was that, it's very important for us. The revenues that we receive from the casino are very important, and I think this letter to Governor Newsom would definitely help emphasize how our community is suffering from that loss of revenue. And so I just want to say that I understand the residents' concerns. It wasn't the right choice, but at the same time, the main point was that the city does need the revenue from the casino.
Thank you, Luis. There be no further business. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 5:34 p.m. until next regular meeting to be held on June 9, 2020 at 6 p.m.